Okay, and welcome to our call to the pen. Obviously, you still see us at home, staying at home, respecting that social distance. So, how are you guys?
I'm doing all right. Just trying to get used to this the best way possible.
I'm good.
What about you, Shane?
I'm good. Surviving. I'm just thankful to be healthy.
I'm digging the Corona beer.
Yeah, well, it's more than just the beard. Good God in heaven, do I need a haircut? You need a haircut.
Dude,
you're doing good.
Growing out a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad for Ashley. She can't dye her hair some weird color. So.
Hey, it's already dyed. I got it done just beforehand, so we all good.
For now.
All right. So, in light of recent news, the Los Angeles mayor, Eric Garcetti, said that there is a possibility that there won't be any live sports in LA until 2021. So, New York Governor Andrew Cuomo actually was asked if he was going to be following suit as well. So, in his interview, he mentioned that he had spoken to Jeff Wilpon, our favorite COO of the Mets, about whether or not he would be interested in playing without the fans in the season to give, these quarantiners some sort of hope. So how do you guys feel about initially hearing that they were discussing this?
I mean, the idea of playing baseball without fans was put out there when, the whole coronavirus thing was going on. Now I think it's a reality of what will happen, whether they play in New York or they do the Arizona the baseball plan or whatever the case may be. But I don't the best way to put it is if we see baseball, it'll be great. I think it'll give a lot of people morale, but fans, I wouldn't get your hopes up because we were probably not going to be in the stands watching them live.
So, Cuomo has totally been about bringing it back just to kind of give people a little bit of relief with the cabin fever. Now, your favorite, Wilpon, did not share the same enthusiasm and expressed his concern about the economic feasibility, being that the players should actually be taking a dramatic pay cut to offset the lack of attendance. Now, Shane,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's news, and now I was trying to be calm this episode. What the fuck? I mean, look. The fact of the matter is that again, not to get political, as I say every week, and none of this really screams anything but. On Cuomo's side, I feel like they're not thinking about health first, and I feel like on Wilpon's side, health doesn't even factor into it. It's just money. Yeah, I think Jeff would be like, this is great if it means I can make a ton of money and I have to pay a ton of money and blah, 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 blah. He's worried about his bottom line. We all know that's all he cares about. I'm not surprised that that's his reaction. He's a piece of shit. Cuomo, on the other hand, I feel like, yes, while it'd be wonderful for us to have baseball to be a distraction for however long it's going to last from all the 30-some-odd thousand people that have already passed, it would be great on that hand, but really the feasibility of putting the players at risk, yes, they'll be spread apart, but the umpires, people are going to have to travel. How are they going to make that work? Pilots are involved, flight attendants are involved, security's involved, training staff's involved. There's just so many people that then have to be out there and put themselves at risk. And until I feel like the overall picture of having enough testing and enough PPEs and enough they don't even know right now if you can have it and then not get it again. They don't know that right now. People are testing positive who already got over it in South Korea. They don't know if that's a test or if that's the virus. Just too soon. It's just too soon, and I just don't think it's gonna happen. Until they figure all this stuff out, how can they really think about having that kind of entertainment? It'd be great, sure. It'd be great for morale. Absolutely true. But is it safe? Not even close.
I completely agree with you there. I think at this stage, it's just something to talk about, something to kind of give people a glimmer of hope, something that people can look forward to. Oh my gosh, baseball may be coming back. Okay, maybe I can fit that into my schedule for the day,
Yeah.
Victor, you look like you had something to say.
No, it was just going about the statements that I had before. It was just as much as the fans want baseball to come back, it's not as realistic. I'm hopeful, and I want to see the Mets play, or to be honest, just any game of baseball that's played at the professional level. But yeah, like we were before any of this happened, we were talking about getting season tickets, and now I'm thinking back in retrospect, I'm like, I'm so happy.
Glad we didn't.
Tickets, because who knows where we'd be with them right now. And for the idea of having fans being in attendance, like you've been at those at Citi Field, those seats are pretty close to one another. The chances of people trying to social distance and respect those rules, maybe the players get back on the field, but fans in attendance, definitely not. We're going to have to get used to watching it on TV.
Yeah, people, that's a really good point. People are not going to, we already see it outside. People aren't respecting it.
They're definitely not. It depends on what area you're in, because, I've been, doing a little biking on my own, and I see people respecting it, and then I see people like right up against each other, and they're kind of not paying attention to what's going on around them, thinking that they're invulnerable or something.
Yeah, and like, what are you going to, you don't have enough attendance to let in 3 people at a time to the bathrooms, to spread apart the concession stands like that. People are going to cross the rows. It's just, you can have guidelines, but there's just not enough ways to enforce it. And unfortunately, too many people are selfish and not caring about others, and that's unfortunate.
Okay, so moving on. The Mets actually posted on Instagram a list that they put together of teams that we would spend our time with during quarantine. So, with that in mind, Victor, you want to start us off with your pick for the teams?
Yeah, so I went with Team 1. You have Darryl Strawberry, Pete Alonso, Ron Darling, Jerry Koosman, and Bobby Valentine. So I gave just a little bit of a reason behind each one. Darryl Strawberry, because he was part of that 86 team, and he was one of the best hitters in Mets history. I feel like he would have some great stories. Pete Alonso, me and him were almost the same age, so I feel like we'd have the same interests. We'd go fishing together, because I see that's all he does now on Instagram. Ron Darling, he was also part of that 86 team, and I feel like it would be cool because he could probably hook it up in the booth. And then Jerry Koosman, he was an OG, won the World Series in '69 with the team, so I'm sure he would have great stories as well. And then Bobby Valentine, although he didn't have a great career as a player, as a manager, he was very charismatic, and no one could forget that fake mustache.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so that would be it. So those are the reasons behind my team.
See, it was funny when you sent this out to us, Victor. I assumed Ashley's team would be Team 3 because Conforto's in it. So I'm eager to see.
That's the exact same thing.
Right? Her initial choice wasn't that, but let's see if she's had a change of heart.
So, obviously Team 3 would probably be, my first choice. But I actually went with Team 6. I think out of all of my research that I've been doing since I've joined the podcast, I've kind of seen these names come up, and they're all very interesting individuals where they've had a lot of success. They're a little bit more selfless. They would probably have a lot to lend in terms of knowledge and understanding of the game. I would love to hear from Jacob deGrom and Johan Santana about pitching and what that's like for them. I also was a catcher once upon a time, so hearing that from Gary Carter, rest in peace. But
how did you pronounce Santana's name again?
Santana, Johan Santana.
Oh, wait, what was that?
Nah, I'm not repeating myself.
Mm-hmm. Never mind.
All right, so my choice would be Team 6.
Okay.
If we could swap, Conforto in there,
that would be
kind of
Who
nice,
would you swap Conforto with, though, in Team 6?
Nemo.
Wow. The nicest
guy
guy in the game.
Nemo's he's like Gary Carter. He's the kid. He's like the kid on the current Mets team that we have.
But
now.
I have to get rid of one to get Conforto, so things. You have to, give and take here.
Actually, you should have gone with Team 3 and stuck with Conforto there.
Yeah,
I did like that Bartolo Colon was on Team 3 though, so it was a little bit of a struggle. What about you, Shane?
I was stuck with the even numbered ones. I was thinking 2. I love Mookie Wilson. I've had conversations with him. He's amazing. David Wright being David Wright. Bud is just he's tough as nails. Stroman seems cool. David Cohn, even though the first game I ever went to was a David Cohn one hitter against the Padres in '88, but he thinks he's only a Yankee now, and I can't stand that. But I've since eliminated Team 2. Team 4, Keith Hernandez, my baseball idol. He's my favorite player of all time. I wear number 17 because of him. Dom Smith seems like a cool, relatable dude. Piazza is just like, he's not from New York, but he screams New York Italian kind of thing. Nolan Ryan, I can not do without. I don't need that. He's one of the most no-hitters of all time, but I don't think him and I would get along very, very well with certain things in the world. And then Ed Kranepool actually sat behind right? Oh, I actually sat behind Ed Kranepool at a game once, and I went half the game before I realized it was him, but listening to his conversations, sounds like a cool dude. Team 6, Rusty is just wonderful. Brandon seems cool. Gary Carter is the kid. Cool. He was my second favorite player on that team. DeGrom is the man, laid back, cool. And Johan Santana.
Johan.
My
bad.
Is Johan. I mean, you can't. He's one of the. I mean, just very similar to Curtis Granderson, his humanitarian efforts and his just cool, laid back familyness. I don't know, but I mean, I guess. It's so hard to do.
Yeah, a couple days to think about this.
I had to go with Team 4 because Keith Hernandez, like the brick that Gary and I believe Gary, Darling, and at the times Kevin Burkhardt got for him when Citi Field opened, said 2/3 of the world is covered by water, 1/3 is covered by Keith Hernandez, and so he wins.
Yeah, good choice.
Good choice.
Well thought out.
Yes. What next?
All right. So, in the spirit of, answering questions and making decisions, we're going to be going into our question and answer round. This is our first time doing this, and we got some questions from our fans. Thank you very much for that. So, why don't we start off with the first one, which is, what is your very first sports memory? Victor, why don't you start us off?
Very first sports memory, it would have to be, just watching soccer. I grew up in an Eastern European household, and soccer was on TV all the time. So it was like watching, I think it was Romania in the Euro qualifiers. That's probably the earliest I have it. And then also, if we go first baseball memory, my first baseball game was actually Yankees. It was Yankees. No, it was Red Sox at Yankees. And
Red Sox, cool.
Yeah, the Yankees were getting blown out, but my whole family went, and we had no idea what was baseball at the time.
Was it the old stadium or the new stadium?
It was the old stadium. This was way back. This was early 2000s.
Nice.
And I remember in attendance, one of the guys who was he was a Yankee fan, and he was pissed off. The Yankees were losing. I don't even know what the score was, but there was some guy who was selling foam fingers, and the Yankee fan goes, "Hey man, do you have any foam fingers with the middle finger? Because this team sucks." And then that kind of stuck with me. So that was my first live sports memory, and then
that's cool.
Okay.
How about you, Shane?
I'll go. My first memory is actually the day after the Mookie Wilson, Bill Buckner play. I was 6, and my mother wasn't really into baseball, and she had been growing up a Yankees fan because there were no Mets when she grew up in the Bronx. So, but baseball wasn't really on the radar, and I just remember all the frenzy on the news the next day and whatnot. Because my mother always watched the 5 o'clock news and NBC, and I remember just it being like a frenzy. And I got into baseball, I think, really heavily into it the next year. As far as, I guess that's my first baseball. My first baseball game was the no-hitter with David Cohn versus the Padres. Got to see Tony Gwynn play. Keith Hernandez hit a home run, and he was already my favorite player. So it was amazing. Me and my best friend went in a 6-0 one-hitter.
For me, it was actually going on a field trip to Frontier Stadium. I was living in Rochester at the time. So we went to watch the Red Wings play, and my brother actually was a chaperone. So we were actually way up in the nosebleeds. Me and my friend had gotten popcorn, and we were dropping it through the bottom of the stairs, and it was falling onto people. And I just remember that security came up for us and was going to escort us out, and my brother played it cool and, like, got the guy to back off and then bought me some cotton candy. So it was a good day.
So you're a punk.
What?
Yeah,
you're a punk. How old were you?
That's my biggest fear whenever I go to a game, that someone's going to drop.
It was definitely like kindergarten.
So you were 5.
Yeah, so it was fun.
Oh.
Thanks.
Well, all right.
Question number 2. Which Met has the most memorable walkout song for you? We'll keep going in this circle. So Victor, Shane.
Most memorable walkout song. This could be memorable, but it's not anything that's significant.
It could have been because you hated it, because you liked it.
No, I think it was Michael Kadyr's walkout song back when he was with the 2015 team was it was Day and Night by Kid Cudi. For some reason, it went to answer me.
You have to sing it for us. How does it go? We can't play the song, so you have to sing it for us, Victor.
Yeah, no, I'm not singing.
Them's the rules. You got to sing the songs you pick.
No, I'm good. And then I guess another one would be, what was it? I think Todd Frazier. He had like a Sinatra song.
That was such a Yankees kind of like.
Okay. So let's segue into mine.
Oh, no, I have a weak connection. All right, what's yours at?
Todd Frazier, his Fly Me to the Moon was so memorable for me because I hated it.
Sing it.
It was just such a juxtaposition of, like, all the other songs. It was, like, very low and, like, monotone and, like, just, it threw up the whole, like, baseball
Fly
vibe.
me to the moon. Let me play among the stars. Let me know how the Yankees are doing in the Bronx.
All right, Shane, which one is yours? And you're gonna have to sing it for us.
I will.
So.
It's a very good song.
That's such a good voice.
Huh? What's that?
I didn't know you had such a good voice.
It's terrible, but thank you. I'll take it.
All right, so going forward, we'll have a segment where Shane sings things to people.
No. Chacaron. The song is actually, crazily enough, Luis Castillo. Chacaron by Bachata. Bacasha. I can't pronounce it. Anyway, and it's a song that's in all Spanish that's about choking on a chicken wing at the dinner table. From what my Latin friends have told me as a translation, they might be messing with me. And it goes, one more time, chacaron, chacaron, chacadillo. And it goes on like that. And so it became this joke on the Mets in that time frame of like 2008, 2009, 2010, or whatever it was. And where it was really funny, and actually being the mush that I am, where everything makes me cry because I'm feeling my mortality more than ever, at David Wright's last game, when they were warming up on the field, the cameras were only on him and only on Jose. And so what happened was that Jose and him had ended up, they do their running up behind first base and whatnot, and they ended up running into the center field. And the camera went at them, and the whole place erupted. This is way pregame, like an hour before the game. And then they're going to do their throws to each other, their warm-up throws, and they start playing that. And they cut to both of them, and they both turn to each other and crack up. And none of the other players who were on the field with them at that time were there at that time, like Conforto and whatnot. And it was like me and like a few other people near me got that reference because it became a joke where all of them started playing it for their at-bat songs and when they got hits and whatnot. So it's the silliest, stupidest song in the world, and I adore it. I adore it.
Okay, so then why don't you start us off with, what would your walkout song be?
Me? Or,
yeah, you.
So M.I.A., you know the singer M.I.A.? It'd be a song, I think, from her second and third album called Meds and Feds, and it's like it's a great guitar riff, and just it'd be. I like powerful songs when you go up at bat, and it's just a fun song.
Victor?
I am thinking about mine.
Okay, so I'll go
Go
then.
Ashley, and then I'll come back.
Okay, so mine is Sam, and forgive me if I'm butchering his last name. Tenens. He has a song called "Play with Fire" with Yacht Money, and I've just always been really attracted to fire. So.
What?
Yes.
You're what the fire?
I have no idea what.
Play with fire.
Oh, well, sing it for us.
No.
Don't be like Victor.
Okay, so it kind of starts off with like this very like dark and like monotone. It's like insane inside, the danger gets me high. Can't help myself. Eventually, gets to a point where it starts saying, "I've always liked to play with fire," and then like the music just drops, and it's so epic. There's also like a cool like a rap.
You know, there's
afterwards.
only like 10 seconds the song plays for.
And it's totally okay. Do you have yours then?
If I had to pick one, I would do. Man, I gotta find one. I'm looking at my iTunes playlist. I'm drawing a blank. Let's see.
Can I take a guess that it's going to be a very millennial song, like someone from Drake or something?
No, it's actually not. It's not going to be. It's not a Drake song.
He's trying to think of something aside from Drake to offset, your thought process.
No, I think Victor's going to go like old school, like
it would be old school. See, so what I'm torn in between is the Joker by what's his name? By the Steve Miller Band.
I don't know it. You'd have to sing it. You'd have to sing it.
Yeah.
Oh, you know how the song goes.
I swear to God, I actually don't know the song.
I have no idea.
You've never heard this song?
Don't play it.
I've never heard this song either.
Oh, hold on, yeah, because we might get copyrighted. It goes, right, now I'm embarrassed to say.
Hey, come on.
But it goes, I'm a joker, I'm a smoker.
Oh, yeah.
Night, so
I do know that song.
I would do that one, or I would do Don't Stop Me Now by Queen.
Oh, you gotta go with Queen, baby.
Don't stop me now.
Having a good time. That's a classic. All right, Cool. What's the next question?
So, the walkout song's established. If you could take on any role at the stadium, like a broadcaster, ball boy, GM, what would it be?
You can't, no player, right? Or no manager?
Player.
You said GM or manager?
GM.
Okay, no, I would not want to be GM because everyone, they would complain with any decision I make. I would like to be in the broadcast booth. I think that would be a cool job to have.
Shane?
I just had a great idea for an episode, but there's no baseball this year. Is owner count? Can I be the owner?
You can.
I want to be owner.
What would you do as owner? I wonder.
Go back to every episode we've ever had. Either that or I don't know, one of the kids of the players, because they just got it so good. They got it so good.
I can't even. I would be a photographer. I would love to get some cool shots of the people on the field.
That is cool.
Definitely. So, what day of the week would you prefer to go to a Mets game, and why?
Wow. It depends. If it's summertime, I would do it would be maybe a Tuesday or Wednesday because no one's really there. The stadium's really open. And then if I go to a day game, I would choose a Saturday.
Okay. Shane?
Well, I love that Saturdays are now mostly 4:10 or 7:10. So I do prefer Saturdays just because you don't have to stress about staying late at work, and you can get there and you can go early, do batting practice. The gates open earlier. There's no stress about being I'm not gonna get a lot of sleep because I live far from the stadium. So I mean, Fridays are wonderful as well. It's just a different energy on a Friday night. So either Friday or Saturday. For night games, though. I always prefer night games.
I would definitely go with a Wednesday. I've been leaning a little bit more towards the weekday games, and I think Wednesday just always kind of had some clinchers for me. So I would pick that there.
I like weekday games at night because they're more open. There's not as many people there, so you could socially distance.
I get that completely.
That's fair.
All right. And what position do you or have you played in softball?
I've been utility man. Dude, I've catcher, second base, right field, whatever you need me for. Even when I played Little League, it was the same thing.
Okay, and you, Shane?
Well, when I was a kid, I sucked so bad in Little League that they stuck me in left and right because no one ever hit it there. So that was a joy. And then when I got good or decent, I started playing shortstop because I just did. But then I got old and injured and had back surgery. And I was a pitcher for a long time because the team I was on, no one else could do it with high arc, slow pitch. And I was able to do like a knuckle with that and a curveball with that. But then after my surgery, I couldn't do the new league we're in. I couldn't do the actual like power pitch underhanding because I'm just not strong,
right.
No muscles. And so now I'm just on third base, and I like it there. So that's where I'm stuck in my old age.
I started in middle school. I was a catcher because I couldn't catch a damn thing. But it was mainly because of my glove, because the glove they had given me had no padding. So every single time it would hit, it would hurt my hand and I would drop it. Aww. So once I got my own glove, I ended up in right field, and I was like one of their star like outfielders. Eventually, when I moved to New York and I started playing here, I started doing co-ed leagues, and I've been pitching ever since. I've done like second base like once in a blue, but I would like to try other things.
Well, I mean, we've all played together, so I know Victor's pretty good all around the field. Like Victor's great at first and right field and left field. And that's all I guess I've ever played with you. I know. Yeah. And catcher. Victor's an incredible catcher. Like he's one of the only people in recreational beer league softball that actually backs shit up. Like I'm always telling catchers when we have a really good fast team or like erratic throwers and catchers, back up first base, back up third. No one does it. Victor does it.
I realize that.
I even did it from right field. I would back up first
base. He does. From right. Victor plays the game right in beer league, and so does Ashley. Ashley's great at pitching. I played with you at pitcher and second base, so like I can attest to both your skills. Like you guys are awesome.
Well, once we get back, we definitely have to make another rec team.
Whatever that is.
Yes, please.
Next question is.
Right. Next question: chocolate or vanilla?
I'm gonna throw a curveball and say mint chocolate chip.
You can't. You pick one or the other.
I'm not really a fan of either. Like my favorite ice cream is mint chocolate chip.
Okay, so chocolate. Shane.
I guess.
Well, I like my chocolate and vanilla the way I like my women, a little bit of both, chocolate and vanilla. Well, my favorite is actually chocolate chip cookie dough, but so that's kind of more vanilla than anything else. So I guess.
I definitely am vanilla all the way. Chocolate, I just can't stand chocolate at all.
We know from the way you pronounce Johan, so yeah.
All right. So, how do you like your coffee?
Let me get Ashley's going to be like, lots of milk.
Coffee?
There's a story behind that, too.
Can I say espresso, or is that not allowed?
We'll take it.
I mean, I don't like milk in it, only like a pinch of sugar. That's about it.
He's very European in that way. That's the European coming through. I like it light and 4 sugars.
I don't drink coffee, so...
Well, whatever. Oh, what brand do you prefer, Victor, of coffee?
I'm not too picky, but usually I go to a cafe to drink it. Like, I prefer daily I'll drink tea at home, but if I go out for a cup of coffee, I'll just get it from a cafe. And I think most places use La Beza.
I'm a basic bitch, so I like Dunkin' Donuts.
I hate, dude, don't take me to Dunkin' Donuts. That coffee is fake.
Boo! I grew up on Cafe Bustero, so that's my second choice. But
I see a lot of
that's
people
not real coffee. I hate Dunkin' coffee.
Having that.
Dunkin' is so good.
No, dude, because they pump it with so much sugar. I've had their like frappes or whatever they make.
But that's a frappe.
That's a frappe though.
Not like
Frappe's
whatever
always
with all the
has, like,
sweeteners.
hella
I'm just not a
sugar.
No.
big fan.
That's Starbucks that does all the. That's Starbucks that does the syrups. I hate the syrups.
What-
Starbucks is not my
What's
thing.
the sound again for that?
Let me do it lower. Wait, no, hang on.
Alright, what?
Now we're getting demonetized.
Oh
Hey,
God! As if we
no.
were ever monetized.
See what had happened was. Alright, so what's one thing most people don't know about you?
She pronounces it Johan.
For real.
No, you know that.
Ashley, you go
People
first.
don't know about me. Yeah, you go first.
Okay, I published a book when I was in college.
What's it called?
Divinity Wars. It's not available anymore, but, it still happened.
What was it about?
Humans with power saving the world before bedtime, trying to find a sense of normalcy at the same time.
So, like, our real life now. So, if people
With
contact us, will you give them a copy or sell them a copy if people contact us?
I mean, I don't have one, but, I can give them a digital copy.
Yeah.
Give them something to read during
Yeah.
quarantine. Yeah.
Nice. Victor?
One thing people don't know about me is,
What you use in your hair.
yeah, I guess if people really want to know, I use only one product, and it's called Ticino's.
Al Pacino's?
I think called Ticino's, yeah. And then once in a while, I'll put in some dry shampoo, but that's about it.
Do you ever use mayonnaise?
That is absolutely disgusting, and the smell of mayonnaise is gross.
It is. I like mayonnaise, but not like in lots of doses. But
I
like,
mayonnaise.
if you ever watch 90 Day Fiancé, there's this guy called Big Ed. He has no neck, but he uses mayonnaise in his luxurious hair, and he's the only other person I've
I
seen.
saw memes about that guy.
Yeah. That's what he looks like.
Yo,
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm
I
trying
just
to
don't like
date
you
someone
do the
50
show
years
sound
younger
like
than me.
that.
But he uses mayonnaise in his hair, and he's the only other person I've seen with a similar haircut with the same color that's as luxurious as yours, Victor. Just a thought.
No. I mayonnaise is good on sandwiches, but I can't stand the smell.
That's fair. That's
I mean,
fair.
once you rub it in enough.
Yeah.
Away.
Yeah, just
That's
massage
gross.
it all in, man. If I had done that, maybe I wouldn't be
Do a
great.
Tresemme commercial where you're like,
Ooh la la. And
No, I'm good.
me, I guess. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know it. I don't know. I was on Sesame Street as a kid. I guess that counts.
really?
Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah. I was on
That's
Sesame
kinda
Street
cool.
5 times between the ages of 5 and 7. So I actually played Little Louise when Magic Mumford, a la peanut butter sandwiches, turned the adults into kids, and so I played Little Louise.
You have
I'm
video
gonna
of
have
that?
to hunt the sound. I know, right?
I do have video of one you can find on YouTube if you YouTube the Snuffle Shuffle. I'm the kid with the bowl cut. Still, I had these bags under my eyes then. I'm in like a green teal sweater, and then I have a whole DVD of one that was actually released on VHS back then. So it's
Yeah, I'm actually gonna look that up now. That's pretty interesting.
you should.
All right. So, final question. What have you been doing during quarantine?
I've taken up gardening and playing Fortnite.
He has. He just put a post up saying that his plants are his children, and it's the most adorable
Yeah.
thing.
Do you guys want to meet him? So this is the newest bamboo I got.
Is his name Groot?
I'm so like, this one, no, I just got, but I hope he grows. This one I'm really proud of. I have no idea what plant this is, but it looks like it has these clovers, but it's not a 4-leaf clover, and like this shot out in just a week. Then I got this guy from IKEA, and I just changed his pot. And then this guy, he was part of this, but he fell off, so I
Aw.
repotted him.
You saved him.
I don't have any.
I love how they're all guys, too. You have to give them all names, and then we have to share that later.
I will come up with the names. I think if I came up, I would call him Panda. I would call this one Lucky because it looks like Clover. If I had to do this one, it would be Spike because he's got a whole bunch of spikes on. And then this could be Spike Jr. But do you guys want to meet the coolest plant?
Is it cannabis?
I was thinking the same thing.
We've just been demonetized again.
Oh my
Oh!
gosh.
Oh, is that a... Wait, what is that?
Like a palm tree?
I think so. I don't know. I got it from Home Depot. I'll let you know what it is right now.
It looks very palmy.
Is it plastic?
It is. It's like a little tree. It's a yucca. And his name is Ferb.
Big U.
Ferb?
Ferb.
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 That thing's gonna get big though, right?
Chris,
Yeah.
he looks like Ferb from Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb. I got that reference.
Well, I think for now, like how we will be able to tell how long we've been in quarantine is how big Ferb gets.
Yeah, you should track it. Tracking Ferb.
Ferb is
And then I got some flowers that I want to put outside on my balcony.
Oh, so you got the green thumb, sir.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it.
What about you guys?
I mean, obsessing over the news. I find myself, with the exception of doing this show, absolutely lethargic, not able to create as much as I want to, and just, if I don't watch the news, I feel anxiety. If I watch the news, I feel anxiety. So, but you know what? I'm healthy.
It's a vicious circle.
I'm okay, and that's obsessing and lethargic is how I've been spending it.
For myself, I've kind of been doing a little bit of everything. I just recently started writing again, so I finally found like some sort of like inspiration to give that some life. So I've been sitting in the darkness like a troll on my laptop. I've also been doing puzzles. I have like a 2,000-piece puzzle that I'm still like halfway through. Playing Borderlands 3 and torturing myself by doing every little mission possible and just going back and just shooting things. Biking has been a good thing, and documenting, the social distancing that is or is not happening in New York City. So
Good
a
stuff.
little bit here and there. Oh, and doing workouts, kickboxing workouts in my living room, and trying not to slip on my carpet.
Nice.
So yeah,
Keep it in shape. That's good.
Productive.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest concern is because I was doing workouts so frequently, and now it's like literally like halted. So that's the concern is that you're gonna gain weight.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to do a little bit here and there to kind of like offset that in a way.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also trying to adjust the home workout. So
it's hard, especially being in New York. You don't have the space. So
yeah, but you make it work.
Yes, you do.
And so, one piece of sad news that rocked not just the Mets world, but the sports world in New York City in general was that New York Post photographer Anthony, and forgive me if I'm pronouncing this wrong, Causi passed away this week of COVID. And he, if you look in the background of Mets games and stuff at the Garden and all over at MetLife, you can see him there taking pictures, taking some of the most iconic pictures. Victor found a bunch of them and posted them. Some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. And knowing people who work at City and at the Garden, some of my best friends work there, they attest to what a tremendous human being he was and how much he will be missed. And it's one of many sad losses to this disease, but one that is. I saw a lot of posts from players from all the New York sports teams, from past, present, that including Jeff Wilpon and many others who spoke very eloquently about him. So our thoughts are with his wife and his children.
Definitely.
Yeah, we share our condolences as well. And looking when I was doing that research about him and I found all those photographs, I was really just blown away, like super impressed.
He has such a creative eye.
Very iconic moments. I mean, that Mariano Rivera walkout one, I think that was phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've just been impressed overall with how people have been talking about him and how people really appreciate him. Like, he's just not a photographer that just says click, okay, bye. Like, he actually established relationships with these people, and I think he is definitely going to be someone who is certainly missed. And, while there are a million photographers in the world, there's no one that will be able to fill his shoes. Being that he had such a creative eye and such a take on photography in general, it will be something that is definitely a hole that won't be able to be filled. But with our memories of him, he will certainly live on.
Indeed. Okay.
Well.
So, on that note, are we done? Is this the... Hold on, I gotta find papers. I always forget.
But,
Victor, while Victor's getting his papers, please stay safe, stay at home, respect the social distancing. We would like to see you a lot sooner, so...
Yeah.
Victor?
In the meantime, don't forget to subscribe to Standing Room Only NY on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at Standing Room Only NY as well, Twitter, Facebook, and you can find us also on any other social media outlet like Spotify and Apple Podcasts.
Yes. Well, everyone's...
And with that...
Yeah, stay safe, stay healthy, and be there for each other.
Cool.
But